Hey, I'm Ellis Smith, and this is Shaquem Holloway, and we are excited to talk to you today about a really important topic. It's something that affects each and every one of us. Families, the young, the old, people who have jobs, people who are looking for jobs.
Very important.
The unemployed, everybody. This is something that affects everybody. And the topic that we're going to discuss today is beer in movie theaters. Now, this is a very serious issue. The city is going to debate this today, and they are going to go over the ins, a lot of ins, a lot of outs, on this issue. As many of you know, the Ovation Room over there at the Majestic 12 already serves beer.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen the statistics on whether there's been a sharp uptick in violence over there yet.
Or any drunks yet.
I'm not sure whether that has occurred or hasn't occurred. But that's what people are going to debate. Will beer in movie theaters create a family unfriendly area? Will people be talking during the movie?
Because that never happens without beer.
Will it lead to an increase in texting during movie? When the screen lights up in people's faces. So these are concerns.
Yelling in movie theaters.
Yelling at the screen.
Yes.
Walkouts. There's marital arguments. I don't know if you ever witnessed a marital argument during where people actually get into it during the.
I've never witnessed a marital argument during a movie, but you see couples debate things and it gets intense. Or it doesn't.
Sometimes they think they're alone in the movie theater.
They always
and you're like, no, guys, I'm here. Stop right now.
Despite the crowded movie theater, they think they're the only two people in the theater.
There is. I don't want to make light of this. It is a serious issue. Parents do want to take their. Well, I already have made light of it actually, so I guess it's too late.
It's too late.
But I don't want to keep doing that. So there is a debate over whether. This is going to lead to people, cursing or something in front of the kids, doing things. Over at the Lookouts Stadium, they have a family zone over there on the left-hand side where, you can take your kid, and presumably they're not going to have to hear the F word or something like that, I guess, is part of the thinking there. Or have
and also the thinking, I know one of the councilmen talked about, kids, what if younger kids are able to get alcohol?
Right.
And, how do you monitor that? And I know, that's also an issue that's going to be debated tonight.
I would think they would monitor it the same way they monitor it at the hundreds of alcohol serving establishments that we already have here, which will involve asking for an ID, looking at that ID, verifying the realness of the ID, and then the date on it, I think, and then handing that back.
Yeah.
Then taking the credit card, swiping that, giving the beer. I think that'll be the same procedure.
Of course, there are ways for minors to try and get around that kind of thing. So I know one of the solutions that they talked about was for people that they do serve alcohol to give them a ribbon. Or some kind of wristband or something like that, to where this is a person who was able to buy alcohol.
So you could have somebody because people who work at movie theaters sometimes, like 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, maybe they aren't really good ID checkers. So maybe you could have a manager or somebody who's got some experience with that sort of thing. Yeah. Just like you do at a festival, where you have somebody whose job it is to scan the IDs or whatever, strap a wristband to somebody, and then send them on their way.
And so if you see somebody without a wristband and they have alcohol, you can then, hey, why do you have it? Blah, blah, blah.
Now, you have some experience. You said you've been to some other movie theaters where they serve beer. What was that like?
In Atlanta, at Atlantic Station in Atlanta, they have a movie theater where you can, if you VIP experience or whatever, you can get alcohol and food together. A real good dinner. Like if you can order like a steak and like mashed potatoes. But I think I got like a burger and fries.
Pay attention, movie theater owners. This sounds delicious.
A burger and fries. But yeah, and then you have alcohol and you drink and watch your movie.
Yeah, I have been to the Ovation Room, and you press a button and a guy comes out of a little hidden door, or a girl, whoever it is. He was a guy when I went. And he comes out and takes your order, and you've got these big, easy chairs, and you have a little tray table like on an airplane. Yeah. And your stuff goes on there. You pay for the convenience, of course. I mean, I don't think you're going to see people, maybe if you have a ton of money just to throw around, but I don't think you're going to see people ordering like 15 or 20 beers. I mean, you're watching a movie. It takes a while for the guy to come out. and it's expensive. So I don't know. It's kind of like drinking on a plane. Some people you're going to occasionally get somebody who's going to drink too many of those little tiny containers of booze, and they're going to get out of control. But that doesn't happen very often. It really doesn't. You have to be if you're a dedicated alcoholic and you're just going to get drunk. I don't think. They have these things called flasks. You're probably already doing it. You know what I mean? I don't think that this is going to be. But I could be wrong. You could see. Now, some people have suggested, well, maybe you're going to need more police officers at some of these places, to monitor people, to keep peace. And that may be true. I already see police officers at a lot of them, hanging out outside or in the lobby and just kind of making sure, especially on nights where there's a lot of kids from schools coming out. I already see a lot of police. So it's not clear to me. I think what I don't know is I know the movie theaters pay for a certain amount of security in some cases. I don't know if the police would also increase their response proportionally. I don't know. But the big picture here, so these are all really interesting things that I think will be debated, and ultimately this was already approved on the first reading last week. My guess is it's going to be approved tonight with very little in the way of debate. And the reason for that is because people aren't not going to the movies as much as you used to.
Because of Netflix and things like that. You got Netflix, Hulu, so many other reasons to stay home.
You can drink beer on your couch already.
You can get your 6-pack for what I'm guessing
very much
to
money.
Be much cheaper than what you'll have to pay for beer.
That's right. And if you have a reasonably large screen or a sound system, a lot of people, especially with 4K televisions and some of the cheap surround sound options, you can go into Best Buy and walk out with depending on your room and the acoustics and where you can run cords and everything.
55-inch TV and you're good.
So you can have a good experience at home. So and stuff on Netflix is in 4K. They've got this new thing called HDR, which comes very close to what you see on the movie theater screen in terms of color and brightness. So this is something they're trying to say, hey, we're losing people. We're to all this technology, this consumer technology that's now available at home. We need to find a way to get people back in seats, and this is one thing they're going to do. I think it's going to happen one way or the other. Do you want to talk about some comments?
Let's see what we got here.
Let's see what we got.
I know one thing that was kind of talked about was I know Chip Henderson, Councilman Chip Henderson was talking about more of the minor issue of like minors getting alcohol, and that was his concern. He voted against it.
Yes, he did, and I think he promised to vote against it again tonight. But all right, so we have a couple of things that people are pointing out, and thank you for your comments, by the way. I always like to read them, and I think it's important because we don't know everything, so it really helps us kind of hear where you're coming from. John Cobb says the Memorial Auditorium has a full bar for shows. John says he went to a show on Sunday, didn't see one person intoxicated to the point of causing trouble. And I know that's, it kind of depends on the show, and it kind of depends on, if you're going to a kind of a high-end gig there, you might not see people sloshing down drinks, or if you do, maybe they can hold their liquor. Laura Ann Turner says never had a problem at the Tivoli either when they serve. Then there are some people saying, now Laura Ann Turner also says, I don't drink, but she thinks people should be able to if they want to. Frank Johnson, and there was a discussion earlier while we were talking, there were people saying that you can bring a gun into the movie theater, which I don't think is true. I think they're actually marked as no gun zones. But the joke was you can bring a gun into the movie theater, but you can't have a beer. The way these gun-free zones work is that under the Tennessee law, if people put a notice, and I think it has to be a certain size, you have to be able to see it. But if people put a notice up and say, well, we don't want any guns in this establishment, it becomes against the law for you to bring guns in there. Now, I don't think they're patting people down necessarily, but technically it is illegal. They're also not patting people down for flasks. Or beers stuffed into your pocket or whatever it is
or
the kids
those
do these
big
days.
Purses that
the big purses
moms have.
So I don't think. Anyway, so sorry to. I hope that doesn't rain on your joke. It was a good joke. I liked the joke. It just wasn't true. So anyway, so yeah, you've got that. You've got the Netflix issue. So this is something. Now there's still some things that people like. The theater is still a bigger screen.
Yeah.
than you're going to get at home. I mean, you're just never going to get that.
Especially if you're getting like that IMAX experience.
Yeah.
Like I go,
That
if
rumble
I go,
you feel
get
in your
for
chest.
that IMAX experience. That's I think that's worthy of the ticket price. I know that we talked about in the article. It talks about how bowling alleys are kind of doing the same thing. You know,
Pinstripes.
they beer and more of an entertainment zone, and allowing alcohol to be consumed.
And that's a similar thing too, where I think you can get pitchers of beer and have them at your table, and while you're going bowling, and you don't have to go to some bar area in the back where everybody's smoking.
Yeah.
But if you smoke, that's fine. But not everybody wants to smell like that.
Yes, that's very true.
And so yeah, I mean you are seeing that a lot, and I think it's just trying to get people off the couch and get out into the world to kind of pay money, basically be a consumer. If you think about it, you're paying like, well, I don't know, I always get this wrong, but you're paying like what, $10-12 for a movie ticket, something like that.
Yeah, like $12, like $11-12, probably. Right. And if you're getting like an IMAX movie, it's like $20,
right,
for one.
So that's
ticket.
big money for them.
And then if you want to get popcorn or nachos,
$10-12.
like I'm a nacho guy, not a popcorn guy. When I
really,
yeah,
doesn't that get messy? With all the cheese?
No. You get like 8 napkins, and you're fine. But yeah, like so if you include, you get some popcorn or nachos and a drink. That's probably like a $35.
And if you take a date,
trip. And if
double
you're
it.
going, that's $55 right there.
Yeah.
And Netflix is $9.99 a month.
Yeah, and you get some pretty good original programming with that as well, and movies. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of a lazy, shiftless individual. I must admit that after putting in a full, day at work, running around, I tend to get on the couch, and it's really hard for me to get off the couch. Now that's partly because I'm out of shape. I'm not in great shape, but also there's a certain inertia that sets in. Like once I get to a place and I'm comfortable and happy, and there's a TV in front of me already, and dinner's about to be ready, it's hard for me to be like, yeah, I think I should go spend $50 doing the same thing I could do here for nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it is hard. So that's what the movie theaters are up against. They're up against people like me who are lazy, and who have like a TV already, and have some, subscriptions to various Hulus and Netflixes and things like that, or Amazon. I'm an Amazon Prime member.
Yeah, I have Amazon Prime and Netflix.
So that's like a bunch of movies that you can just watch whenever.
Yeah.
Including a lot of good ones. So I don't know, and you can buy them on Amazon for
like $3.99.
Yeah.
Well, you can rent them for like $1,
depending on if you want
haven't seen it,
HD or
if
SD.
you want to buy them, depending on how recent it came out, it can vary from like $2 to 15, something like that.
And I'll be surprised. And to Laura Turner, thanks Laura, your comment machine, keep it up. Laura Turner has pointed out, once I get home, I'm not fighting traffic to get to the movies. I don't have to fight a lot of traffic to get home, but I hear you on that. That is annoying, and that gets. I kind of want to bring that back around. So we're not just trying to promo Netflix and Amazon, but these movie theater chains are up against a lot, and so I'll be surprised if they stop at beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see mixed drinks. I think you'll definitely see them move more upscale. For young adults, young professionals, try to make it a clubbier bar kind of atmosphere. I think there'll still be a place for kids. I kind of wonder how they're going to handle that. But I think the cost will go up, but I think also the amenities are going to continue to go up for movie theaters.
I think what people are looking for is an experience. Like why, like you talked about, you couch potato basically once you get home, and I'm the same way. But I do like to go to the movies still.
But you don't want to feel like cattle when you go in there. You want to feel special because it's a special experience.
And money. You want to get something other than what you can get at home. At home, I can have my beer or whatever I want to drink and eat, and just sit back, relax, enjoy a movie. I don't have to get dressed up. I don't have to go out. I don't have to sit in traffic. So if I go to the movies, I'm expecting a good experience, something different. Okay, I want great sound. I want the rumble seats, you know. So if I'm going to see...
I don't go to non-IMAX movies anymore. Because I'm like, man, I want to get blown out of my... If I'm going to go pay money, I want my rib cage to rattle. I want to have a little bit of cardiac arrest, like just a small medical
just
condition.
a little bit.
Not enough to go to the hospital, but just heart stops for a second, then continue on. That's what I'm looking for. Stop my heart. So yeah, keep it up, movie theaters, or don't. If the law gets voted down, you won't be able to. But it doesn't look like it's going to get voted down. It was approved on first reading again, so it will probably be approved. Both Carmike and Regal are both doing this at a lot of their theaters. We have a lot more Carmike stuff though here. I guess
Yeah.
we've got the Carmike downtown.
Is it East Ridge?
Carmike, that's a Carmike. That was the Rave, formerly the Rave, is a Carmike. So we've got a lot of those. I think as you get out into the surrounding area, you will see some Regals. But anyway, stay tuned. We'll obviously have web update for you tonight. Big story in tomorrow's newspaper. Info on what happened, what the rules are going to be. I'm sure if they do approve this, they want to make sure that, as you noted, like the alcohol gets served to the people who are legally allowed to have it, not to the people who aren't. So there will no doubt be, either under the existing rules that cover that, or they may add some additional provisos or something like that. So anyway, so that's what we're going to have. It's going to happen. I want to say that I'm a total objective journalist about this, but as a consumer, I think it does add a new wrinkle to the question of should we go out to the movies. I mean, I think it definitely will. And as a young adult, as a family person, I'm unsure of what the effect is going to be. I mean, I think that's really going to be up to the movie theater management. If they allow a rowdy environment where I feel unsafe, it's true. I will never go there again. People are shooting at the screen or whatever. I'm probably, which happened to me at a movie theater in Atlanta where I used to live too. People got upset during a movie and shot at the screen. That movie theater closed down, turned into a whirly ball.
What movie were they watching?
I don't remember. I don't remember, but they turned it into a whirly ball venue. They just knocked it all out. Anyway, it's a long story. But yeah, I mean, I won't go back. So movie theater managers, it's up to you to make sure that people feel safe. I mean, no law can, govern people's behavior unless there's someone there to actually enforce it and say, you're getting overserved, you're cut off, or whatever the case may be. So I'm sure that the movie theater doesn't want to drive people away because money is what keeps them in business. So the smart ones will come up with ways to make sure that people's behavior is in line, I hope, as a family person. So anyway, those are the two sides there of my dilemma. How about you?
I'm for it. I'm pro. Having beer. I think they should expand, and I think they eventually will expand to other forms of alcohol, whether it be wine.
Yeah, have a glass of wine. If you're going out to see it.
Wine and a movie.
I know my wife will occasionally go out and see what we call, and this is probably a misogynist term, but a chick flick. Are we allowed to say that in 2016? A chick flick?
I don't know if you're allowed to say that anymore.
Okay, well, what was formerly called a chick flick now is probably called an emotional experience for people of all genders, but whatever. So she goes for these emotional experiences, and they like to have a little wine before the movie sometimes.
Yeah.
But what if they could have wine at the movie? I think that would go over very well. So I don't know. I mean, we'd love to hear what you guys think.
If you could have wine during the Notebook, that
During the
they
Notebook.
probably would have sold. But, the numbers for that.
Could you imagine the tears?
If that was possible.
Oh man!
Just imagine how many people have went to see the Notebook.
I don't know if that movie requires wine.
It doesn't.
Anymore.
It doesn't require wine.
Well, I'm out of things to say about this. I've got another appointment to get to. We'll actually be doing a little workout, talking about sitting down on the couch. We're going to get up and we're going to do a workout here in a little bit. Not me. I'll be observing the workout and really learning all the moves, but not participating.
So you can do it at home.
So I can do it at home.
There you go.
In the privacy of my own home. But Leslie and former public information officer for the Chattanooga Police, Kyle Miller, and his partner they've opened a studio, and we're gonna check in with the Kyles. They're both named Kyle, and they're gonna show us some interesting things that you may not know about to kind of get limbered up as we get into wintertime. You kind of want to stay in shape with all the Thanksgiving food and Halloween candy getting thrown your way, movie theater popcorn, beer, whatever. You're going to want to stay in shape, so we'll give you some tips on how to do that. So stay tuned. We'll be back here in a little bit. Good to see you guys.